be focusing on hips. So both hips while we're in our active practice, and also hips when we switch over to our yin practice. So just make sure you've got all your props handy and ready to grab when you're ready. So I'd like to start in hero's pose today, and not everybody can do that, but that's where you're just sitting back on your heels. So if you're comfortable and you can sit like this, go ahead and do so. If not, just sit in easy seat Sukhasana, whichever one you would like. Or you could grab your block and sit on your block as well. So we just want to be sitting up nice and tall. Just go ahead and roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Your hands, palms can be facing down on your lap, or they could be facing up, whichever you'd like. But go ahead and close your eyes. So now just get in touch with where you are and where your breath is right now. Maybe you've been rushing around this morning so far, or maybe you just got done having your coffee, eating breakfast, and joining me now. Whatever it is, we're all here together now, which is awesome. Take a nice deep slow inhale through your nose and let it all go. Another deep inhale through your nose and then letting it all go. One more in through your nose and let it go. So I'm starting with a quote by Mother Teresa. Let us always meet each other with a smile, for the smile is the beginning of love. How true, how true. Just a couple more inhales and exhales right where we are. You can keep your eyes closed or you can open them up to a soft gaze, up to you. Let's take our peace fingers aiming towards the floor. Inhale, circling your arms out all the way up, looking up, stretching. And then exhale, peace fingers come back down to the floor. Again, inhale, circling out and all the way up, looking up. And then exhaling, peace fingers to the floor. One more, circling out and all the way up. And exhaling, peace fingers to the floor. Let's take our left hand somewhere on our right thigh. Right hand teepee behind you, maybe on your toes. Sit up tall first. Exhale, twisting to the right. Inhale, tall. Exhale, twist. Another inhale, tall. Exhale, twist. On your next exhale, go ahead and release that twist. We'll take the right hand somewhere on our left thigh. Left hand teepee behind you, maybe touching your feet. Sit tall first. Exhale, twisting to the left. Inhale, tall. Exhale, twist. One more inhale, tall. And exhale, twist. On your next exhale, go ahead and release your twist. And let's meet in tabletop to do a couple rounds of cat-cow. So make sure that your knees are 2 fist width apart. Take a peek between your knees. Make sure you don't see your piggies. If you do, hide them. Make sure your hands are either right underneath of your shoulders or slightly in front of them. Your weight is pressing more towards your fingertips and rolling in towards our thumb area. Take a nice deep inhale where you are and let it all go. Inhale, drop your belly looking up. Exhale, angry cat back. Inhale, drop your belly looking up. Exhale, angry cat back. Inhale, drop your belly looking up. Exhale, angry cat back. Stay in angry cat back. Bring your big toes together. Sink your hips back to your heels for a child's pose. This is the beginning of our hip work. Keeping your arms activated, your fingers reaching to the top of your mat, and your forearms up off your mat. Know that you can come back to this pose at any point today. On your next inhale, let's come back up to table. Rearrange our knees in case we splayed them apart a little bit. Curl your toes under. Let's come to our first down dog. So pedal out your knees. Do whatever you need to do to help loosen up the hamstrings. And then as you are ready, come really, really, really high onto your toes. And then we'll sink the heels back. Let's do that twice more. Inhale up onto your toes. And then exhale back down. One more. Inhale high on your toes. And exhaling down. Settle into your down dog. Keep your shoulder blades flat down onto your spine. Another deep inhale. Open your mouth, let it all go. Slowly walk your hands back to your feet in forward fold. Bend your knees as much as you need to be comfortable. You can grab opposite elbows if you would like. Swaying back and forth, or just staying still. Let your head go. No tension in your neck. On your next exhale, let's come back to center. Drop our hands in case we have them. Your feet can remain hips width apart, or you can bring them big toes together, heels apart. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And on your next inhale, roll up your spine with your head being the last to come up. When you get there, take your shoulders up, back, and down just a couple of times. Settling in. Tadasana. Let's stack all of our joints. Shoulders over hips, hips over knees, knees over ankles. Your palms facing me and fingers wide open. If you're comfortable, close your eyes. Inhaling deeply. Exhaling through your nose slowly. Another inhale deeply. And then exhaling. On your next inhale, go ahead and flutter open your eyes. And now on your next inhale, let's take our arms way up to the ceiling, tall mountain. Exhale, swan diving all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, bend your knees. Inhale, reverse your swan all the way back up, tall mountain. Hands come back to heart center, Anjali Mudra. Dropping your hands, Tadasana. Inhale, circling out all the way up, tall mountain. Exhale, swan diving all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, bend your knees. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, hands back to Anjali Mudra. If you're not at the top of your mat, go ahead and step up to the top of your mat. We're going to add on now to our half sun breath. Inhale, circling arms out and all the way up. Exhale, swan diving all the way down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, bend your knees, step back with one foot and then the other foot, high plank. Right where you are, drop your knees to the floor. Inhale deeply, and as you exhale, begin to bend your elbows so that your chest and your chin come down to the floor, and then push off your toes into baby cobra. Staying for a breath or two. Inhaling deeply and exhaling. Another inhale. And as you exhale this time, release baby cobra. Inhale, table, curl toes, down dog on your out breath. Pedaling out your knees once more. Maybe this down dog is a little bit looser. Take a nice deep inhale and release. On your next inhale, lift your right leg high to the sky. And then let's bring that foot up between our hands with our left foot meeting. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, bend your knees, reverse your swan. And hands come back to heart center. So we're going to go through another Sun A, and you can either do knees, chest, and chin, or you can go ahead and do chaturanga, whatever you feel like today. Let's drop our hands. Inhale, circling out all the way up. Exhale, swan diving all the way down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, full plant. Your hands step back with one foot, then the other foot, high plank. If you'd like to drop to your knees, do so. Otherwise, push forward onto your toes. Bend your elbows halfway. And then roll over your toes into up dog. Next, exhale, let's all meet in down dog. Inhale deeply. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, left foot high to the sky. Bring it through between your hands with your right foot meeting it. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, bend your knees, reverse your swan. Hands come back to heart center. One more, just like that, dropping hands. Inhale, circling out all the way up. Exhale, swan diving all the way down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, step back to plank. Go through your flow. And we all meet in down dog. When you get to down dog, nice deep inhale and exhale. Pick a foot, doesn't matter which one it is. Raise it up to the sky and then let's sweep it through between our hands. Other foot meets. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, bend your knees, reverse your swan. Hands come back to heart center. Beautiful. Okay, our favorite pose, chair. Utkatasana, find your chair. Hips sink back. You can have either your legs zipped together or they could be slightly separated. Take a look at your toes. Do you see your piggies? If you don't, shift your hips back a little bit more. Oh, we all love this pose, right? Everybody's giving me thumbs up. They just want to stay here. Yes. No, I'm kidding. One more inhale. Exhale, swan dive all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, step back to plank. You can either flow or go to down dog. When you land in down dog, lift your right leg high to the sky. And let's bring that right foot through between our hands. Runner's lunge to start with. Try to straighten your spine. And now go ahead and drop your left knee to the floor. Pedicures follow. And let's rise up, kneeling crescent. So sink forward in your hips so that you're feeling it. Another deep inhale and exhale. You can stay here, or you could curl your back toes under and lift up off your back knee to kneeling crescent. Find balance and stability in both feet. One more inhale. And as you exhale, let's frame out that front foot. Take both hands to the inside of your right foot. Let's walk our right foot out a little bit. If you're still down on your knee, stay there. If not, let's drop to that left knee. We're coming into lizard pose. If you feel this stretch where you are, stay there. Or you could grab your blocks and bring your elbows down onto them. If you're already warm, as I am, only because no air conditioning, you can bring your elbows down onto your mat. Just breathe deep. I know you feel this. Just try to relax and let your opening just happen on its own. On your next inhale, if you're not already on your hands, come up onto your hands. Go ahead and curl your back toe under, lift that knee. From here, we're gonna rock back and forth until we end up in yogi squat, malasana. So begin to rock back and forth, and as you are ready, bring your left foot up outside of your left hand. And sit back into malasana. So make sure you keep your heels on the floor. If you don't, you can widen your stance or put a towel or blanket underneath your heels. Hands meet at heart center. Use your elbows to push your knees apart. A little bit more. One of my favorite poses. Calming. I was out weeding the garden last week, and I actually sat in malasana the whole time doing it. Must have looked funny to people driving by. One more inhale. Exhale, hands find the floor. Lift your hips high up. Bring your feet about 2 fists width apart. We're gonna do yogi toe lock. Peace fingers around big toes. Inhale, halfway lift. And as you exhale, pulling down on your toes, pulling up with your fingers, forward fold. Elbows go to the back of the room. Let your head go. Just relax. On your next inhale, release your toes. Exhale fully. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, bend your knees, reverse your swan. And hands come back to heart center. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Find your Tadasana. Inhale, circling arms down all the way up. Exhale, swan diving all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, bend your knees, step back to plank. You can either go directly to down dog or you can flow. After you get to your down dog, lift your left heel high, high, high to the sky. Let's bring that foot through between our hands. Runner's lunge, elongating our spine. As you are ready, drop your right knee to the floor, pedicures follow. Inhaling, arms reaching up, kneeling crescent. Feeling into that stretch on the right leg. You can stay here, or you can curl your back toes under and lift your back leg up off the floor. That's how I lose my balance. One more inhale. And on your exhale, framing out your front foot. Bring both hands to the inside of your left foot. Walk your left foot out a little bit. You can either stay on your back off your knee, or you can drop it. I like to drop mine. So we're heading into lizard on this side. You can either stay on your hands, bring your elbows to a block, or you can bring your elbows to the floor. Just try to relax in the pose. On your next inhale, come on back up on your hands if you're not already there. Curl your back toes under, bring your knee up off the floor. Rock back and forth as many times as it takes to get to Malasana. Right foot outside. And breathe. On your next exhale, go ahead and drop your hands to the floor. Lift your hips up high in the sky. Bring your feet in, hips width apart. You can either do yogi toe walk again, or you can do gorilla pose, which is taking your hands underneath of your feet and stepping on them. You might have to bend your knees generously. Inhale, halfway lift. And this time, as you fold, your elbows go out towards the side. And allow your head to drop and to relax. If you're comfortable, rock forward closer onto your toes. Maybe your heels lift ever so slightly off the mat. Maybe they don't. On your next exhale, let's go ahead and release one hand at a time. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, bend your knees, reverse your swan. And hands meet back at heart center. Okay, I'm gonna go through a flow just to get to down dog. Inhale, circling arms out all the way up. Exhale, swan diving all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, bend your knees, step back to plank. You can either flow or go directly to down dog. We all meet in down dog. Once you are in down dog, ripple forward to high plank. We're going to go to side plank, so there's many variations here. You can drop your right knee to the floor, kickstand the right foot out, lifting left hand up. That's one way to do plank. Or from plank, bring your big toes together and roll to the outside of your right blade edge. Find your side plank. One more inhale. Exhale, come back to your plank, back to center. Turn around. So we're going to go plank on the left. You can either drop the left knee down and right arm rises, or from high plank, feet together, roll onto the outside of your left foot. Upper body strength. One more inhale. And as you exhale, come back to your plank. Push to down dog. Take a deep inhale. Open your mouth, let it go. Another deep inhale. Open your mouth, let it go. On your next inhale, ripple forward to high plank, drop to your knees, big toes come together, sit back into child's. This one you do not need to make active. You can allow your arms to just fall down to the floor. Coming back to your breath. Maybe your heart rate's up a little bit. Maybe you're a little sweaty. But just breathe. On your next inhale, pull yourself up through table. Curl your toes, come to down dog. And then walk your feet up between your hands and roll up your spine. So we're going to go into balance. So I figured we would go from eagle to airplane to trig. We'll see how that works. So I step off my mat, just to feel the wood floor. Wherever you'd like to be is fine. If you need a wall, that's awesome, whatever you need. But let's ground down into both feet. Pick all your toes up on your left foot. Open them up and then set them down. Generously bend both knees. Take your right foot out to the side first, and then we'll lift it up and cross it over. Arms go out to a T. Now, if you can loop your leg, your foot around, that's awesome. You don't need to. I don't, but I keep my toes pointed, flexed and pointed. Let's bring right arm in, left arm on top. You could also grab opposite elbows. Lift your elbows up to meet your shoulders. If you come out, just meet us. On your next exhale, release your hands with your palms facing me. Lift your right knee into your chest and ever so slowly begin to kick it back, coming into airplane, up dog chest. And ever so slowly, let's bring that knee back up into our chest. And then let's come to our tree. So you can kickstand or put your foot on your calf or fall out. Or up into your thigh. Grow your branches if you would like. And after your fifth breath, just slowly release. Awesome balance, girls. Go ahead and empty coat sleeve if you'd like. Releasing. And then when you're ready, come back to stillness. Lifting all your toes on your right foot, open them up, set them down. Bending your knees generously. Take your left foot out to the side first, and then we'll cross it over. Arms to a T. Left arm in, right arm on top. We're grabbing your opposite shoulders. Slowly releasing your hands, palms facing me. Left knee comes into your chest. And we'll take that foot slowly back. Airplane, up dog chest. And breathe deep. On your next inhale, slowly bring that knee back into your chest. Coming into your tree. Kickstand or calf. Or on your thigh, hands to the heart, you can grow your branches. After your fifth breath, gracefully release. Meeting back at the top of your mat, Tadasana. Inhale, circling arms down all the way up. Exhale, swan diving all the way down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, bend your knees, plant your hands, step back to your plank. If you'd like to flow, this will be the last flow. I promise. Otherwise, we meet in down dog. From down dog, drop to your knees, tabletop. Crisscross your ankles and push back. onto your high knee. And then feet come out long in front of you. Find your sits bones when you get there. So let's activate our thigh muscles, possibly pulling our heels up off the floor, toes are pointing up, hands down by your side. Dandasana. Go ahead and release the activity in your legs. Let's go ahead and bring soles together, knees apart, Bandha Konasana. Make sure you're still on your sits bones. Sitting tall. And then exhale, folding until you feel the stretch. And just continue to breathe. On your next inhale, let's go ahead and sit back on up. Grabbing behind our knees, let's take our feet out wide. Still making sure we're on our sits bones. Feet are flexed, pointing up towards the ceiling. Inhale, tall. And then exhale, walking our hands forward. And then drop your head when you get to your extension. On your next inhale, let's walk our hands on back. We're going to bring our right leg forward and our left foot, the sole of our foot, somewhere on our right leg. It can either be on your calf or it can be up at your thigh. Make sure your hips are still square. Inhale, tall. Exhale, folding forward. When you get to your edge, you can go ahead and drop your head. On your next inhale, let's walk our hands back on up. Taking the sole of your left foot to the floor, knee pointing up, make sure that you're about 2 fists width apart between your one leg and your foot. We're going to do Marichyasana. So we want enough room to fold down onto the inside of that left foot. So sit tall, and then you're going to exhale, walk your hands out, reaching for your right foot. Now you can totally stay here, but if you would like to try a bind, you take your left arm out to the left, thumb facing down, curling it around your leg, and then your right arm comes behind your back, and you reach for your hands, your fingers. So the further you bend forward, the easier it is to get this bind. One more inhale. And we're going to exhale, release your bind. If you have it, lift yourself back on up. And then we'll take this left leg out to meet the right leg. We're going to do all those poses again, just on the other side. So find your staff pose, your Dandasana, activating your thigh muscles, lifting your heels up off the floor, sit tall. Heart rises, maybe chin tucks ever so slightly. So much going on in this pose. On your next exhale, release the pose, grab behind your knees, bring your feet into Buddha Konasana. making sure that you still are on your sits bones. Inhale tall, exhale folding forward. On your next inhale, let's rise back on up, grabbing behind our knees. Let's take them out wide. We're going to be visiting these poses, some of these poses again in our yin today. Sit tall first, and then exhale, folding forward. We're keeping our poses active in the Hatha portion, where when we get to the yin portion, we just relax into it. On your next inhale, let's walk our hands back on up. We'll bring the left leg out long. Right sole of your foot either on your calf or on your thigh. Make sure you're still on your sits bone. Inhale tall, exhale folding. Feeling the stretch along the back side of your left leg. Continue to breathe deep. On your next inhale, let's walk our hands back on in. We'll bring the right sole of our foot to the floor, 2 fists width apart from our left leg, remembering that we have to fold to the inside of that right leg. Sit tall first, and then exhale, folding down towards that left foot. If you tried the bind on the other side, let's try it on this side. Remember to stay low in your fold. Let's take the right hand out to the right thumb facing down, wrapping that arm around our right leg, and then our left hand reaches back for our other hand. On your next exhale, let's release our bind, sit back on up. Bring both feet, soles of your feet to the floor, and ever so slowly roll down onto your back, as slow as you can. We're going to get a couple of back bends in, a couple of bridges. So when you get there, make sure that your heels are hips width apart and as close to your hiney as you comfortably can. Your hands can be down by your sides, palms facing down. We're going to go for 3 bridges today. If at any point you'd rather grab a block and place it underneath your sacrum for a supported bridge, go for it. So take a deep inhale, and then exhale, lift your hips high, high, high to the sky. Pushing down into your heels to create the lift in your hips. On your next inhale, come high onto your toes. And as you exhale, slowly roll down your spine and windshield wipe your knees back and forth, back and forth. Setting up for bridge number 2. Bring your knees back to center, your heels in. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, lift your hips high, high, high to the sky. Continuing to breathe fully and deeply. Lift high, high, high onto your toes. And exhale, bringing your spine slowly to the floor. Again, windshield wiping back and forth. Last bridge. Bring your knees back to neutral, feet close to your hiney. Inhale deeply. Exhale, lift your hips high up to the ceiling. If you'd like to bind your hands underneath your back, this one, go for it. Just continue to feel into that lift and the strengthening. On your next inhale, lift high up onto your toes. And then exhale, slowly roll down your spine. Bring your soles of your feet together and knees apart for Supta Buddha Konasana. Maybe one hand finds your belly, one hand finds your heart. Breathe deep. On your next inhale, let's go ahead and bring the soles of our feet to the floor. Bring our knees up towards the ceiling and go ahead and give yourself a squish. Bring those knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around your shin. Roll back and forth a little bit. And let's get our feet above our heart. So either you can just shoot your feet straight up to the ceiling where you are, or you could grab a block and place it underneath your sacrum and lift your feet up. Or if you'd like to do shoulder stand, whatever is in your practice. Let's just get our feet up for just a couple of breaths before we get ready to switch over. Take another deep breath. And wherever you are, let's slowly release our inversion. If you have the block underneath of your sacrum, go ahead and lift your hips up and remove that block. Otherwise, let's bring our knees into our chest. Take your hands down in between your knees. Grab your soles for happy baby. And maybe rocking back and forth ever so slightly. Let's come back to center. Keeping our knees close to our chest. Take your arms out to a T, palms facing down, and allow our knees to fall off to the left as far as you would like to go. Continue to breathe deep. On your next inhale, let's bring our knees back through center and allow them to cascade off to the right. A nice gentle spinal twist. On your next inhale, let's bring our knees back through center. Give yourself another squish. And then rock forward and back on your spine until you end up in Sukhasana. Time for yin, girls. So if you'd like to put a blanket on your mat for extra cushioning, feel free. Continuing along our line of hip opening, we're going to end up starting in butterfly. So the soles of our feet come together a little further away from your body than what we did earlier. You can put blocks under your knees if you would like. Or you can go ahead and use a block on the soles of your foot to bring your third eye down onto. And remember, your blocks have 3 levels. So whichever way feels more comfortable. But I'd like you to inhale tall and then exhale fold forward, placing your third eye on a block or just allowing your head to fall down and relax into this pose. No muscle movement, you're just relaxing. So I've been reading from Chicken Soup for the Soul for the past couple of weeks. So I'm going to go ahead and continue reading from here. It helps make the time go by a little faster. And this little chapter is called Seeing the Rainbows. The only way to see a rainbow is to look through the rain. Unknown author. When my husband's deployment orders ended in 2007, our small family found itself without a job for the very first time and with a very new baby. We put out resumes and my husband applied to every possible place he could think of, regardless of locale. He took a job across the state, more than 4 hours away, and we began making preparations. We cleaned our home in record time and virtually lived out of the suitcases as the for sale signs were pounded into our lawn. We tried to leave no trace of living in our home because we knew that at any moment we could be asked to leave for showings. We said goodbye to our friends and family and prepared for more heartache and distance. We were leaving our entire family behind. Then something magical happened. Our prayers were answered, and in the nick of time. We had another job offer, and it was local. We wouldn't have to move after all. Everything seemed perfect, like it was all falling into place. With great enthusiasm, we uprooted the real estate signs and began planning our life again. This new job paid much less than the previous job, but we had enough in savings to last until the raise he'd been promised. Things were going to be just fine until they weren't, of course. Within months, our savings were depleted and things had changed in the company. The money we'd been holding out for was no longer something we could count on. With a slow job market, we began to prepare as things began to get worse. My husband and I pored over our finances and marked off anything we could live without, including our home phone and television service. Despite the cuts, finances were still extremely tight. So we borrowed some tools and planted a small garden in our backyard. We planted the vegetables we knew we no longer would be able to afford at the supermarket. We began looking to trade our services for other goods or services we might need. Meal planning and coupon cutting took up more and more of my time as I calculated meals that could feed our family for less than $1.50 per serving and compared prices between the two local grocery stores. Gas became precious and was only used as a means of getting to and from work. Entertainment had been to be creative because we could no longer afford to pay someone else to entertain us. Everything seemed to be spiraling downhill quickly, and then our insurance stopped. I researched natural alternatives, things I could grow in our garden or find in nature to alleviate our smaller medical troubles. It felt as if Murphy's Law had swooped down on us and everything that could go wrong was going wrong. We continued sending our prayers up, hoping for a break somewhere along the way, hoping we'd find a way to pay the electricity before they came to cut it off again. As the days passed, nothing seemed to change. We were barely getting by. Take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Exhaling through your mouth. Surrendering whatever you can surrender. And with the use of your hands, help yourself come on up. Let's place the soles of our feet on our mat, hips width apart, taking your hands behind you for support, and windshield wiping your knees back and forth to release that. And then as you are ready, let's come back to stillness and we'll take our feet out in front of us. So this looks like Dandasana, staff pose, but we let our feet relax. There's no muscle engagement. So this is called caterpillar. So if you'd like to grab a block or 2 blocks or whatever you need to bring our third eye down onto something, go ahead and do so. Sit tall first. Exhale, folding forward. Using 1 block, 2 blocks, or if you don't want to use any block, and allow your head to just fall forward. No muscle engagement. Just allow everything to go. Just continuing to breathe slowly. I left off in the middle of a paragraph. As the days passed, nothing seemed to change. We were barely getting by. But as my hands dug into the rich soil, uncovering the root vegetables As they peeked through, I knew there was something different. I watched as my daughter, who had just learned to walk, tottered down the rows of our family garden and stooped over a bucket to fill it with lettuce leaves. And I smiled. Indeed, nothing on the outside had changed. But it was because God was changing us on the inside first. What at first seemed like a tragedy for our family turned out to be what forced us to change for the better. Sure, we no longer had television service, but instead we cuddled together by the campfire in the backyard, or we chased bubbles on the patio. We could no longer afford to go out to eat with our friends or to the movies, but now we spent our time hiking together and exploring the local parks. We were no longer cooking quick frozen meals. Instead, we were eating carefully prepared, healthy meals with fresh vegetables from the garden. A garden that taught two adults who thought they knew it all, and a little girl who found even the worms and ants exciting. We had prayed for a change, and change is what we got. It just took us a little more time to recognize the blessings bestowed upon us. We just needed a little more faith to see the rainbows through the rain. And that was written by Ashley Sanders. The next little paragraph is called Bittersweet. When it is dark enough, you can see the stars, by Ralph Waldo Emerson. I'm not saying you are going to die within a year, but I am saying you may not live to see your children grow up. I am in a chair listening. I am thinking about my 4 young children. My surgeon is talking. We are discussing my prognosis and my pending surgery. My 40th year is spinning into a midlife crisis where everything is hitting the fan. Cheerful by nature, I find I am not my perky self. When I see my first ever mammogram, the sprays of white stars with the 2 dense clusters, tumors that look like a couple of suns against a black night sky. I am intrigued that cancer can look so pretty. I can see the concern on the faces of the people who have to give me the news and their angst that I have come alone. I have come for the test knowing I probably have breast cancer. My local doctor was convinced. My husband, still hopeful, was not. Whatever the diagnosis, I wanted to be able to deal with cancer privately, matter-of-factly. But like every human, I have many roles: wife, mother, sister, daughter, friend, neighbor. So my drama became public domain, a genuine blessing to have so many souls who care, but a real burden to shoulder their fears for me. Leaving my surgeon's office, I hope retail therapy will cheer me. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, letting it all go. Surrendering whatever you can surrender. And then with the help of your hands, help yourself come on back up. Let's release our hips a little bit. You could do exactly what we did before with your soles of your feet on the floor, windshield wiping back and forth, or maybe just bending your knees and giving yourself a squish. Whatever feels good. So the next pose is called Dragonfly, and that's wide leg forward fold, which we did this in the first portion, but we kept our feet active. This time we're not going to keep our feet active. So you can go ahead and take your soles far, far apart, and you'll let your feet flop. Sometimes feet flop in, others feet flop out, but whatever is comfortable. But rock forward just a little bit first so that you know that you're on your sits bones. So we're going to inhale tall, and then you're going to exhale, walk your hands out as far as you comfortably can. If you'd like to grab your block and place your third eye on it, feel free. But just fold down into the pose and relax. Just let all your muscles relax. So I hope retail therapy will cheer me. I wonder I wander in a store and consider buying shoes. They may as well be cheap, since who knows how long I'll get to wear them. The thought makes me laugh at myself. I think about the old man who jokes about not buying green bananas anymore. I rarely allow myself the indulgence. I call my husband. He is stoic. We will get through this. I think about my children. I remember I gave birth to 3 of my 4 kids without intervention. No drugs, happy gas, or epidurals. My body having it out with nature. My sweet, supportive husband there, the midwife to guide. I took hours of labor one moment at a time. Somehow, this comforts me. I know I can be tough. My words to cling to. This too will pass. And my favorite quote by an inspired religious leader: we are all asked to drink of a bitter cup, but not become bitter ourselves. I determined to live without regret. Leaving my young family motherless is a source of my greatest fear and a source of my greatest inspiration to survive. They are my anchor. During my chemo treatments, my 5-year-old tells me, a child in her class said, one day your mom will fall over and never get back up again. Ooh, awful. Odd how many people also told me sad stories. I am truly grateful to the wise, generous souls who choose to share survivor stories. Those are the helpful ones. Not that I am adverse to reality, but hope is a necessary reality for healing. I tell my 5-year-old that if anything should happen to me, she has plenty of people to love and watch over her. I realize she got the point when she says, yeah, you could die, but that's okay. I'll be all right. This was the same child to whom I gave a pair of scissors a couple of months early and told her to have fun cutting my hair. I had long hair. I had it cut short before it fell out, so the change would not be so dramatic. I figured I might as well go even shorter, so I wore a surprisingly cosmopolitan do, given by a 5-year-old, for a week. With short hair falling out, I then shaved it all off. There is something liberating about taking the tiger by the tail before the tiger pounces. Cancer made me pause and think about the legacy I would leave my children. I created a children's book for them, one I wish someone had given to me. A friend suggested I publish it. I felt shy about it. The cancer survivor writing another cancer book. But I did publish it, and I am grateful that through it, I had been able to help others. Who would have thought cancer would open this avenue to me? I had always wanted to write children's books. I am embracing the silver lining. These days, so grateful to be in remission. When I visit my oncologist for checkups, I pass the chemo room. My heart aches for the people in those chairs. I remember being there, feeling like I was being immersed in a pool of bleach. I think back to the elderly gentleman I overheard kindly but firmly decline more chemo. The nurse pleading with him to try another regime. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhaling, surrendering whatever you can surrender. And then with the use of your hands, walk on back, slowly sitting up. Let's take our soles of our feet to the floor again, windshield wiping, maybe a little wider this time. We're really opening up all areas of our hips. So our last poses today is going to be sleeping swan, which is pigeon. So I love ending with this pose. It's one of my favorite poses. I guess it's either one you either love or you hate. I'm hoping you love it. If you have problems or aches with your knees, you can take supine pigeon, which is lying down on your back, and then your soles of your feet on the floor like bridge, and then your right ankle will come onto your left knee. Otherwise, let's go ahead and set up for sleeping swan. You can either come in from tabletop or from down dog.
It's whatever you're more comfortable with. But we're going to bring our right knee up behind our right wrist so that our right foot aims out towards our left side. And then go ahead and walk your left foot back as far as you comfortably can, sitting tall. Now you may need support underneath of your right hip, whether you'd like to put a blanket there or a block there. It's up to you. But when you are ready, slowly allow your chest to come closer to the floor. Now you may need your blocks for your elbows or not, but just allow yourself to relax into this pose. Try not to grip any muscles. Counterintuitive. We just want everything to relax right where it is. I think of him because later he turned to me and asked sincerely how I was doing. And I felt his compassion, his sincere hope for the best for me. We shared a bitter cup, but he offered me sweetness. His grace was amazing. Thinking about him reminds me of what tough times can do for our souls. And that's written by Linda McCowan. Next short story is called Downshifting. Joy is what happens when we allow ourselves to recognize how good things really are. Marianne Williamson. A Harvard professor calls it downshifting, that noble or necessary slashing of the luxuries, the soft and velvety excesses, those swollen, insatiable appetites of the me generation. But the pork bellies are all shrunken and emaciated now. The debt outweighs what we earn, and only one of my 3 small children has any college savings. So I downshift. I drive past Starbucks and settle for the memories of expensive meals. Seasoned so perfectly, I swooned in the moment when the spoon met my tongue. I blow a mournful kiss to those gentle waiters who smiled and asked, "May I take your coat? Would you like something to drink? Is there anything else I can get you?" I shimmy into last year's bathing suit. It's a little tight after 12 months of obliging waiters. And take the smoke-filled L train instead of driving downtown. At home, the thermostat holds firm at 65 degrees. Even when the temperature outside plunges below 0. Inside the cheaper grocery store, I choose generic beans and half a pound of ground beef to make chili. We'll eat the leftovers tomorrow and maybe even the next day. The adults in our family don't exchange Christmas gifts this year. We're all grown up now. And maybe the kids don't need so many after-school activities because I hear bursts of laughter upstairs as they reenact scenes from the musical Annie. I'm standing in a strip of sunlight, and folding the last of the laundry, I pause and press a sweet scented towel to my chest. They are singing "It's a Hard Knock Life," followed by the peal of giggles. It dawns on me then, drama class costs $355 per child, and oh my, the joy of no carpool. Also, when I take the L train, I get to read whole chapters of library books uninterrupted. And while I am visiting the bright side, my freezing cold floors have promptly the discover of blissful fuzzy slippers, and after 10 years, the warmth of my husband's body again, necessary now, even under a down blanket. And the truth is, I still look fine in a bathing suit, and the stress that once lived between my shoulder blades and rode the backside of my neck has faded along with some of our credit card debt. The Harvard professor says downshifts are happier. They clear out the clutter, reject the brand labels, the fancy and the fine, focusing on the things that matter, like family and stretches of time instead of moments, finding the particles and pearls of pleasure of breathing in and out, standing in the sunlight, listening to It's the Hard Knock Life, but no longer living it. That's written by Juliet Seaborn. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, surrendering whatever you can surrender. And then ever so slowly, let's use our hands to sit on up. And we'll just place our weight onto our right hip, and we'll bring the left leg on around, maybe straightening out both legs, releasing your hip. If you'd like, you can go through tabletop and a down dog, circling out your right hip, releasing whatever stress is in there. So now we hit the other side. Whenever you are ready and however you got into the last one, come on up into that pose, either from down dog or table. And we'll bring the left knee up behind the left wrist. If you're doing your supine pigeon, you're going to bring your left ankle onto your right knee and then bring your right knee into your chest. So you may need that blocker blanket underneath of your left hip. Feel free. And then go ahead and fold forward. Breathing into it. So that last reading that I read, I know it kind of sounded funny the way I was reading it. It was written like a poem, but I'm not too sure how or why. So it was run-on sentences. No, I'm not an English teacher, but it was a little hard to read. I'm trying to find a shorter passage. But they all seem to be long now. This is called RV Summer. A truly happy person is one who can enjoy the scenery while on a detour. Unknown author. In 1985, when we were living in Tennessee with our 3 teenage children, the oldest about to become a high school senior, my husband was let go from his job. As a family who had already living paycheck to paycheck, we were blindsided by the event. My husband, Don, searched for a new job, but there was very little available in his field of plastics. I remember being very homesick for my siblings back in Pennsylvania and Delaware, and wishing I were closer to them to benefit from their support at this difficult time. My parents had passed away by this time, but my husband's mother still lived in Delaware and offered her help if we needed it. There were lengthy discussions regarding our options and whether or not the children would acquiesce to moving away from friends and schoolmates if he took a job in another state. We put our house in the market with the idea of returning to family in Delaware. After the house sold, we took some of the money and purchased a large recreational vehicle to take his mother to his mother's home. We knew that we could live in an RV parked in the backyard if necessary, while my husband found a new job in that area. Suddenly, the job loss turned into a new adventure for our 18-year-old son, Steve, our 15-year-old son, Donnie, and our 13-and-a-half-year-old daughter, Julie. What a fun summer, as we stopped at various parks along the way, where they could swim and enjoy nature as they never had before. Things changed, however, when we arrived in Delaware. Steve had begun a relationship with a girl in Tennessee that year, and he seemed so sad most of the time. The 3 children seemed restless and unhappy. I know they missed the South and their friends and familiar surroundings, and so did my husband and I. Reuniting with my siblings and sharing enjoyable times with them was great, but there was an emptiness inside me that only my beloved South could fill. We all wanted to go back. When Steve's closest high school friend in Tennessee offered to let him stay with his family and finish his last year of high school there, We allowed him to return. That was when I knew I could not be away from him, living in another state. I was so sad after he was missing from our family. We stayed long enough for Don to check out some job opportunities and exhaust the options in Delaware. So I'm going to stop there, but I'll go back and reread that page next week because we only have a couple more breaths here. Continue to breathe deeply in and letting it go. Surrendering whatever you can surrender. Another deep inhale and letting it go. On your next inhale, let's use our hands. Come on back up. Let's rock off onto our left hip. Bring our right leg on around, releasing. And it's time for Shavasana. Yay! So you can take traditional Shavasana, which is lying on your back, feet flopped to the sides of your mat, your arms out wide, palms facing up. Or you could go for something different if you'd like to lie on your belly, supporting your forehead with your hands like a crocodile pose, or even rolling onto your side in a fetal position. I just want you to be comfortable. So if you'd like to grab a blanket, maybe an eye pillow, a sweatshirt, whatever would make you comfortable. Wherever you are, let's find that comfortable pose now. And when you get there, just take a nice, slow, deep inhale through your nose. Opening your mouth, letting it all go. Shavasana. Please let your next inhale be a little deeper. And your exhale a little fuller. Slowly begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Maybe circling out your wrists and your ankles, calling life's prana, breath back into your beautiful body. And then as you are ready, place the soles of your feet on your mat and pick your favorite side to roll onto today, cradling your head for another couple breaths. My closing saying is also from Mother Teresa. Spread love everywhere you go. Let no one ever come to you without leaving happier. What a wonderful saying. And then as you are ready, slowly help yourself up to easy seat Sukhasana with your eyes closed or a very soft gaze. And our hands meet back at heart center, Anjali Mudra. Please take your thumbs up to your third eye. Together, may we be happy. And now to your lips. Together, may we be healthy. And now back to your hearts. Together, may we be whole. Om Shanti Amen. Let there be peace. Let there be peace. Let there be peace. The light and the love that resides in my heart and my soul, my entire being, honors the light and love in each and every one of you beautiful yogis. I thank you so much for coming out and sharing part of your Saturday with me. Namaste.